Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder match on the Novaxes map generator here, so let's go ahead and introduce our players, starting with red team up here in the northeast and ending with blue team down here in the southwest. Let's start with the ruby red player of Babel. He is going first land as an Aeon. There's northwest in orange, the color orange. We have Joker going first land as a UEF. Last game, AFK player. This game, no audio. Thanks, FAF, Combat Striker, commenting about the game. And we're going to introduce him. He's shortened his name to Striker. At least his UEF com on the scoreboard. It does say Combat Striker, so just be aware of that. He's going first land in Chevy Crimson. So on Team 1 side of things, we have 2 UEF and an Aeon. No Cyberns or Seraphim on that side of things. Let's go down here to the southwest, starting with the Amethyst Purple player of Clinch. Going first land as a Seraphim. The other person on the front lines here for blue team, we have Hannibalo going first land as an Aeon. And in the rear guard air slot, we have Royal Blue player of Strife going first land, second air, most likely as an Aeon as well. So on Team 2 side of things, we have 2 Aeon and a Seraphim. So no Cyberns are present in this game. Apologies to those that like to telesnipe and build Monkey Lords. And of course, the all-important water gun, Scathis Artillery. Let's go ahead and check the reclaim here very shortly. We have 8,925. Could have been about 9,000, so we'll just say 9,000 to make it a little bit even. Terms of mass points on this map, we have a decent grouping down here in the south and the north, and then a small grouping here in the middle on either side of this. Really weird. If you can see it on your screens, it's like a small, not a small, but a decent sized square just sitting in the middle of the map. It's a little bit darker. I don't know what that was about, and maybe that's like a map coloring thing. I have no idea, but just a random square. In terms of water or land or lanes or whatever the case may be, not really super defined. We have a couple of these like plateaus on the edges, so no kind of sneaky run-bys on the edges of the map. Wouldn't be surprised to see some flybys along those edges of the map, but no land incursions in that scenario. We do have a small hill over here and more of entryway over here to the west. And, of course, all of this is going to be mirrored down below. And then, of course, to the west, we have a small hill section as well. So not really defined lanes for this map. Pretty much going to be the middle. And then maybe we'll kind of see like a bot and top lane kind of thing. But seems like the corners of the map aren't going to get a lot of notice in this map, considering there's not a lot of mexes except for, of course, these 4. And there's not really any way around. And even if you got here to the southeast corner, you'd still have to either fly over or still go around anyway. So again, something to be aware of for our players. In terms of a ranking, we have a 1444 average for Team 2 and 1417 for Team 1. So just about, what is that, 16 points average per player. 98%, very good balancing. Of course, it is a ladder. And the highest rated player on Team 2, so for blue team, is Strife at a 1530. And the lowest rated player on the same team of Hannibalo at 1323. Everyone else falling in between those two numbers. Combat Striker is slightly trailing Strife at 1508. So that is going to be Team 1's target, Team 2's target to take out Combat Striker, and then vice versa for Strife for Team 1. We have a drop here going down for Hannibalo. He is bringing in some engineers for this quad mass structure. And you can see that very briefly. The engineers were given orders and they immediately fell and built mass extractors. This will cause the engineers to fall back, probably build up some factories here to try to assault this main position. Unfortunately here for these engineers out here from Hannibalo, it isn't going to matter a whole lot. We have one factory already coming online and the second one primed, ready to go. And then they stop. They build a radar system to ensure that they know what is going on over here on this side of the map. You can see the range on it. They can see everything going on here. There is one Selen. Sorry, that's a flare, not a Selen. going to attack those engineers, and it gets reclaimed by the engineers and doesn't really amount to a whole lot, unfortunately, for that little flare. Joker with his comm is going to move in and secure this northwestern corner for their team. Down here in the middle, we have some engagements here between some engineers and units, but not really a whole lot. Team 2 deciding to take the western side of this really strange little square, and then red team taking the eastern side of the edge. But unfortunately for this engineer, it will die to a lonely little spirit. It's going to try to build a T1 Mechs. It will finish it off, and then probably the best idea would be to run away or just control K yourself or whatever the case may be. But we do have a small tank, an Aurora, going after the mechs here. We're going to probably go after this mechs here soon. So Team 1 getting the better end of the deal for the middle and the northwest corner of the map. Southeast corner pretty much in hands of Team 2. There isn't really pressure from either team to go for it. We do have the comm of Clinch moving in that direction, but there isn't really a lot of momentum to go for it, or a lot of pressure to go for it. The engineers were able to build up a couple of defenses, but unfortunately for them, it's not really going to matter a whole lot. Both of those PD will go down. There is some, there's a level right here. There's some artillery to help deal with this land factory, as well as the radar system will go down. The comm of Hannibal is on his way. Unfortunately, if he keeps going, it's not going to look very pretty. There are units coming in all the time here for Team 1. There's nothing here to protect them. There are a couple of interceptors. That's not going to help on the ground, though. And he's got to know he's got to retreat at some point. He doesn't know anything what's going on over here. So he's not walking into a trap that Team 1 is setting specifically. He's just walking into a bad situation. The units out here from Joker will collide with the comm. They'll notice him and be like, hey, there's a commander there. And Hannibal goes, oh, that's probably not a good idea, and decides to retreat. Probably retreat. Yep, going to retreat to the western side edge and then probably hide in the little lakes to the west. There are a couple of lakes, as you can see on the map. Not very strategic placing in terms of offensive capabilities. We do have combat going down here between Babel and Strife. Remember, Strife is the highest rated player in the game, so this would be a good comm to kill a player to kill off early on. Babel is trying to take out reinforcing units while he deals with trying to, not coordinate, but hem in the comm. But this comm of Strife will start to retreat. Pings go down, telling, probably from Team 2, telling their compatriot to move out the way. But unfortunately, there are just a lot of units here coming here from Babel. He's trying to spam up a T1 point defense. Unfortunately, that's not really the best idea. He does drop into the red. Does get the PD online. Will help assist in defenses, but took a lot of hit points for it. And will kind of bat away Babel here in the middle. But again, a couple of bombers, maybe Janus or something, would take that comm out fairly quickly. So Strife has to be very careful. Probably walk back to his main base and just not hide, but just kind of be a lot less aggressive here. Gun and range going down here. Sorry, damage and range going down here for Joker. Finishes it fairly quick. It looks like mass was sent to Combat Striker and a Joker for some reason. Don't know what. Oh, his mass bar is filled. That's why. Just giving it to his teammates here. Starting at Nano says notification says Joker. Doesn't show the text, but does show it in the chat. But I'm just going to be better at making sure that when it doesn't show the text for the upgrade, I look at the chat. And then constantly sending mass to his teammates once again. Just making sure that mass bar doesn't fill, because if it does and he keeps gaining mass, he doesn't get the extra mass. So I would recommend build more mass storage just right now, even if it's a T1 Mechs, just build some now, and so that way you have that extra storage. E says Joker, probably for that nano upgrade. He's almost done. Negative 280, that's a decent chunk, but nano does finish. Babel being very aggressive, has no upgrades on that comm. You probably should, get either T2 or gun or range or something to help defend, because Strife is on his way. He has no hit points as well. Sorry, the same amount of hit points as his opponent here in the middle. Strife leading by about, I'd say, 1,000. But again, they're both in the yellow. Kind of a dangerous situation to be in for Team 2's highest rated player. I love what Babel has done, though. He's actually made a line and spaced out his intel installations to ensure that they don't overlap too much. I mean, like, this is really good. You can see the edge of the map, and you can see a majority of that eastern side. So, like, almost half the map, he'll know, like, oh, if they cross this point, I'll see them. But I do like the placement of the intel. I think there was one right here. I think there was one right here and it got destroyed. Yeah, there was one right here. Units trying to do something here for Hannibal Low, but it's not really doing a whole lot. A large group of Team 1 tanks and other units have been built up. We have AA, we have some, the scouts. We don't have any, what would be fervors, which is kind of interesting. Usually you see Team 1 mobile already, but you're not seeing that. Unlike you see it in the group here from Hannibal, there is a fervor in that mix to help deal with structures. Land factory will be built in the middle to help with reclaim and, of course, securing the middle of the map. We have an Ilshi here, the T2 mobile point defense. These things are very annoying to deal with. You can see constant rate of fire, very effective at taking out T1 units, and also most of the T2 units. The Obsidians, they do Oblivions? Obsidians? Whatever the tank is. I always forget which one is which. I think it's Obsidians. Yeah, that makes sense, because the Oblivions are the turrets. Yeah, so Obsidians. I should just think of, like, Obsidian, the rock is, like, very hard. That's probably what I should go with. Gun range going down here for Hannibal Low, and then probably speed will be his next upgrade to get the Aeon Sniper Comm on that western side. Gun damage advanced range, so Strife is making his comm very aggressive here, and again, he just has to watch out because he doesn't have any veterancy, doesn't have any like a T2 to give him more hit points. So gotta be very careful with what he does here. We are seeing a little bit of momentum here for Team 2's, one of their land players from Hannibal built a T2 assault tank, the Blazes, and then a missile launcher to help push that front line against Team 1. Shield going on the way for Babel, so he's going for survivability. We are seeing a small group roaming band of units here for Clinch. He's trying to push this eastern side of the square. That probably won't get super far. He is drawing forces away from that front line, so he should be bringing these units in to help push forward and ensure that Team 1 doesn't get a larger portion of the map under their control. But unfortunately for either team, there isn't really a whole lot to grab. It's just empty space. So even if they grab it, there's not really anything withholding. The Ilshi's starting to lose his assisting units, support units, and the Auroras are now in range. You can see the Ilshi just churn through all of those tanks, but unfortunately the Aurora have, I think, roughly the same amount of range. So the Ilshi will go down here fairly quickly. Not without substantial losses, but still will go down, and that Tham will retreat. The push here from the west from Joker. He does have the Zeph Amp and the, I think it's Nano Repair. Yeah, Nano Repair. So it's decently chunky comm. Does have a rank of veterancy and has a Parashield with him to assist, so even more hit points. And he is trying to go after the comm of Joker, it looks like, but will pull back and build a land factory to build more units on that front line. Ilshi's once again being a nuisance here, trying to deal with the Aurora tanks here in the middle of the map. And they are making a heck of a go here for Team 1 to, keep a decent amount of units just alive. With the T2 units on here from Clinch, they are making, the tech is starting to make a difference here. There's a couple of mobile cannons here, but we have a T3 bomber out here from Comrade Striker, and there's really nothing to defend against this. And Team 2 does have a couple of ASF from Striker, from Strife. And those ASF spot that bomber, and it will get shot down. But it does soften up a little bit of that front line here against Team 2. decent engagement here. We had some some Blazes get in behind these T1 tanks. There are a couple of pillars in there as well. The T1 tanks focusing fire on the Blazes first to ensure that they deal with their, high, not veterancy, but high hit point pools. And they deal with all of the Blazes except for one. The comm of Hannibal has to get involved. Reclaim, says Strife. Oh, the bomber. Yeah, the bomber is worth almost 1,100, so a decent chunk. But I feel like Team 1 will probably get to it before Team 2. Just due to the fact that they just have engineers right there, and all it would take is just one order. So, and there's even an engineer on the way to upgrade, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that be reclaimed here by Team 1 here pretty shortly. Nano repair going down the way for clinch, and again the map is being split in a horizontal manner. Team 1 pretty much Team 2 has built the mass extractor behind the front line of Team 1, and Team 1 hasn't noticed, or they don't care. Don't know what that's about. That's really funny though. There's just a lone mass extractor like, it's fine. But we have a small group of THAMs have made their way, taking out radar installations on the front line, taking out a mechs. They can't go any further on this eastern side, and I don't think the water will allow them to climb that either. No, so they're just going to sit there. So, and guard that one mechs. I mean, if you can deny mechs for your opponent, that's something. That's better than nothing. But the column of Joker is going to push forward. Of course, Hannibal does have more range. And we can just check the range here very quickly. You can see he has to still walk in while Hannibal is well in range. And unfortunately for Hannibal, though, he is missing a decent amount of hit points, and there is a lot of incoming fire going to be appearing here pretty shortly from these units out here from Joker. Joker probably should sit under shield coverage. I thought I saw a bomber fly overhead, but don't. No, maybe it was shot down, but I swear I saw a bomber. But there are two comms near, both Strife and Hannibal. Strife coming in to assist. We now have Blazers trying to be spammed up here to help assist in defenses, but unfortunately, it may be enough. But those three tanks get annihilated by an overcharge. I'd say 3 tanks with 1 overcharge. They are T2, very effective air fight going overhead. Turns not really going the way of Comrade Striker. I think Strife is microing those a little bit better, and so that will allow a little bit of leeway for Team 2 to kind of exert their dominance in the air game. And now we're going to have 2 Aeon sniper comms on this western side here for Team 2, and that will push Joker back pretty heavily. That radar installation will not survive much longer. Of course, there is units kind of sprattering around. We are having Titans being pumped out by the factories here to the north for Joker, so more reinforcements are on the way. Strife has to be kind of aware that he is kind of under threat here on that front line. He isn't super far away, but with no reinforcing units, no shields, no nothing, it is kind of hard to deal with. That Mechs is still alive. Why is that Mech still alive? We have Omni going to be built here pretty quickly. We have a small shield to help assist in its defense, and then a regular shield going to be spammed up here to help deal with that protection as well. A couple engineers get to the front line, try to reclaim, and just get summarily annihilated. I like the placement of this radar installation. It's kind of behind a plateau. It's not a lot, and it is at an angle, but it's better than nothing. So good use of map terrain to help shield the natural barrier of that protection of that radar. But still, why is that still online? It's so weird. If it upgrades to T3, it'll be really funny. But there is a decent-sized band of units getting into the main base of Babel here in the back line. We have a couple of gunships on the way to assist. We're going to target the AA. And unfortunately, the Stingers aren't really that strong. More of them being sent in all the time. One of the AA goes down. There's still one more, and once that goes down, they won't be protected in the air. But they've dealt, again, decent blow. The clinch is being very annoying here on this eastern side, constantly diverting resources and attention from the front line here, and that has allowed his teammates to push on this western side. Once again, Strife using that comm to a great degree. They're going to reclaim that mechs, ensure that they at least get some return on investment. But now Titans are starting to appear here on this eastern side, and they're gonna submit, like they're gonna wipe out these Ilshis. The Ilshis are pretty much the lower tech versions of the Titans, just like the way they fire, how they move, kind of how they look. Like Titans are like the bigger brother to the Ilshi, even though they're different factions. But they're trying to retreat the best they can, though. Try to, just bide their time while reinforcements come and assist them. We're starting to see kind of a conglomeration of units here for Team 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they use that to their advantage at some point. And like I was saying, the Ilshis are not to be trifled with. I mean, a decent group of Ilshis can take on a couple of Titans, but the Titans have that shield on their chassis, and that does negate a lot of the hit points. But I think the numbers here for Team 2, especially from Clinch, are just going to pummel these Titans. Even if these were Percy's, they would struggle with taking them all out. You can see the amount of damage that just T2 units have. That some players might forget and just go all T3 units, but you got to still build the lower tier units because they are very effective depending on how you use them. I feel like that's everything, and like depending on what it is and depending on how familiar you are with it, depends on its usefulness and how effective it is. So it's just one of those. You just got to know how to use them. But again, those comms here for Team 2, those Aeon Sniper comms being heavily aggressive. They need air support. They have a couple of AA, but the only T2, if there were some strat bombers overhead, that would not matter. And what is Comrade Extractor doing? Well, he's just pumping out ASF and some mass fab farms. We are having Titans engage the comm of Hannibal. Strife coming in to assist, taking out a shield. And unfortunately, I think the Titans might have this. There's a Percy in there as well. Strife is going to try to shield, but his shield is going to fall. He's going to shield or act as the shield for Hannibal. But unfortunately, they are having a push here from a bunch of Harbingers. So maybe this was just a diversion to allow a pincer maneuver to occur. Kind of a fade back maneuver here. And this will leave Babel not being able to do a whole lot here. Pretty much be stuck here for the time being. ASF here for Strife will take out the ASF from Striker once more. But gunships on the eastern side might pose a threat. There's not a lot of AA here. There might be enough to just overwhelm those AA positions. Right now we are seeing some blazes on the east just dealing with whatever they want to deal with. We are at 22 minutes. No one has died. It is a 3v3, so the likelihood is kind of low. But still, no one has died. 22 minutes. That's pretty good. Usually somebody has died by now. Let's take a look at ecos while we're kind of a slow game right now. We have 455 for Team 2 and 530. So Team 1 leading by about 60 mass per second. In terms of total mass accrued, we have about a 50k advantage, so about a little over 2 monkey lords worth of mass. I think that's like, what, almost 2 chickens as well. It's like 53 something for 2 chickens. I think it's like 2,600 or 26,000 for 1 chicken. Anyway, we don't have chickens in this game, and we do have chickens on Team 2, but we don't have monkey lords at all. So at this point, you would assume if one of these players were Cybermen, they would have at least started a monkey lord by now. That would be the assumption at least. Again, a lot of units and structures being grouped here for Team 1, trying to protect the Omni, of course, PD, TMD, trying to just do their best to hold this position. Also some SAMs as well. Team 2 notices that Team 1 is kind of neglecting this western side and is actually going to push it, try to draw out the forces here from at least Joker. So then maybe they can assault the main base, but it is going to work, and now the comm of Strife is nearby. We also have a shield disruptor and absolver. It just nullifies the shield, I think, regen or something on those units. Yeah, you can just see the shield be absolutely annihilated, and then a overcharge comes in and just wipes out those hit points. Very good combo move here from Team 2. We also have Babel trying to cut off these units to the west, ensuring that they don't get any retreating capabilities, but unfortunately a lot of eco is now under threat. 2 T2 mechs is fully ringed, plus another one up here, and there's also T3 mechs is up here fully ringed. We have some plasma cannons being spammed up here to the north for Striker, but we're dealing with Harbingers here. They can just shoot them. Well, even if they shoot them at range, I think the plasma cannon can still hit them, but just barely, I think. But pings are going down to tech. Babel here, he has no assisting units. He has one engineer. And there's no ASF coverage. There's no AA coverage. There's no nothing. And blood is being sensed in the water for these two sniper comms here on Team 2. Babel is just... I don't know if that was a misclick or something, but he is kind of on his own. We have a decent group of these Percies, but one of them just gets completely annihilated, and that will force them back once more. It's still overcharges going into the chassis. He's going to kill another one, so 2 of them out of the 5 fall. Babel is still under threat. Trying to retreat the best they can. We have Aeon Snipercom versus Aeon Snipercom, so they're going to be shooting at each other the entire time. Shield's coming to assist Babel, trying to push forward. Not really the best idea. Yeah, it kind of distracts him for a little bit, but you would at least put him around the comm to help shield any other incoming fire. Upgrading ACU software T2 done. That was an interesting way to do that. Starting backpack, mini Paragon. Those are new, I feel like. Those are new notifications. They look different. Usually it's just starting T2 or whatever. But we have a base war going here on the eastern side. But again, this northern side, we talked about it a little bit earlier. They moved up, took out a bunch of Mechs. Units here from Joker have come to assist the Mechs for Striker. And they probably will get maybe one of them down to no hit points. Yep, they take out 1 T3 Mechs. But is that worth the amount of mass that they dropped? There's 15,000 mass here. Not really. I mean, I feel like 3 Harbingers, well, not 3 Harbingers, like 6 or 7 Harbingers repay for that max. Oh, they get 2 of them. Okay, they get 2 of them. That's not terrible. Team 2 is now in the lead because of that in terms of generated mass per second. And we have this base here from Clinch. He's built some of these Zoothams? T2 artillery. Trying to pummel the front line here for Babel. And it's very close to his his main base here. And it's not really looking good here for Team 1. They had a decent amount of the map controlled, and now they're starting to lose their grip on it. We are approaching 30 minutes. Has anyone decided to, rush a nuke or an experimental or whatever the case may be? Nothing for Babel, nothing for Striker, nothing for Joker. How about down south? Team 2's made a lot of gains. Are they going to push it even more? Air grids being, constantly built up more and more. No, I don't see a kneeling Colossus or even a standing Colossus at all. That's kind of rare. 27 minutes, don't see an experimental. It's usually you at least see one being built, but there's not one being built unless I'm blind and I completely missed it, which is totally possible. To the west again, probing attacks here from these Harbingers. There's not really a lot of some PD here. Those Absolvers have a decent amount of range, and they just nullify all those shields. So I don't really see them used very often, so I do love the mix of them in that unit comp. They take out the shield coverage and then they annihilate the shield emitters themselves, the generators themselves, so they stop, just generating shields at all. But we have a couple of broadswords, and unfortunately there are some lightning tanks here. At least I saw one, and some flak. Yep, there they are. Under shield coverage, under Seraphim coverage specifically, and so those are going to get nowhere. And there's even units here to the east that are going to fall back underneath this fire base here for Clinch. And Clinch doing a decent amount of work distracting the opponent here in the middle. He pretty much has 2 players' attention. Joker working on this western side. There's a bunch of sniper bots in here. Joker had, not really a good idea to just park your units here. You need to take out the Absolvers and those sniper bots because they're just going to do damage at range, and it's not really going to look good for you as time goes on. But units trying to push this fire base, but with the Ilshis and the Utashalas, there's not really much that Team 1 can do. They need an experimental. Most likely the Colossus. Yep, there it is. There it is. 29 minutes, almost 30 minutes, and I'd say that's a little late. Especially when you're losing a lot of ground. You should have been building that a little bit sooner. But Clinch actually builds an experimental. It's the chicken bot. Oh, it's actually further up. No wonder I didn't see it. Usually it's in the main base, but he put it halfway between his fire base and his main base. That will crack the front lines of Team 1. That is going to hurt. And it's going to go for that. Is it going to go for the fire base? No, it is going to go for the comm. If the comm stays there, that's definitely going to hurt. Babble's going to notice that sooner or later, or he is DOA. But again, these units here from Joker are pushing back the sniper bots and the absolvers. They're trying to do their best to hold them up, but I think there's just enough firepower. There's a whole lot of Percy's in this mix. There are 20, sorry, those are Titans, 23 Titans, and wait, those, hold on, I had the right number the first time. 23 Percy's and 14 Titans. That's a decent amount of firepower, and a lot of these units will be taken out. There is some AA Cougars in here as well, and Hannibal just staying at range, just barely though. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them turn to the east and deal with this front line. Just cut across the front line, take everything out along the way. Clinch preemptively attacking that front line. Probably should have waited a little bit for the chicken to arrive, just to give it some more oomph and the hit point pool and whatnot. But at least trying to do some initial damage. Again, not really the best idea with that. Could have waited at least a minute or so. But this front line will now fall. We have, again, Hannibal trying to take out units at range. I think it's out of range now. Yep. Oh, that's the wrong comm. There it is. No, that's still selected wrong comm. There we go. Yeah, it's still slightly out of range. The sniper bots aren't, though. But that front line here for Babel will be protected. They will notice that chicken, and that comm goes, oh, I know what that looks like. And are you going to still charge forward? Because that's probably not the best idea, honestly. That chicken is going to sit under shield coverage. I like that play there, giving it even more hit points. Another 13,000 hit points to just protect himself. But that Colossus is inbound. And we're going to turn the camera to show a more cinematic view of that. The chicken underneath, or trying to be under shield coverage, is going to be shot at by a bunch of lasers and missiles and plasma and a whole bunch of other stuff. And the chicken will be target priority number 1 for the Colossus. And the Colossus sucking up all those Ilshis. Main fire has now been diverted to the Colossus. Will the Colossus survive? I don't know. No, it won't. It actually will go down to all of the incoming fire. And maybe some crash damage will take out the artillery. Let's see, the fall damage, I should say. How much does it take out? It takes out that huge group of artillery. There's still a couple more in the main base, but that has got to hurt. That's a lot of mass on Team 2's doorstep to just scoop up. Team 1's got to just full bore charge, take care of whatever is left. That push out here in the south has actually done a whole lot. It's cut a line straight across, or straight, at least diagonal. And Spectre gunships trying to do their best. We have artillery installations from the Aeon somewhere because of that. You can see the green kind of haze. It's kind of like an AoE splash. But we saw some Mercies as well. I haven't seen those in a long time. At least I thought those were Mercies. I thought those looked like Mercies, but maybe not. At least I thought they were. And Titan's still pushing forward. We have some Optims to help persist. A decent group of Spectre gunships. So Team 1 has... keep that in mind if they push again. Of course, Percy's just dealing the amount of damage that they can. They're trying to get into the main base. I don't think they'll make it. There's not any AA anymore, so not really going to go well for them. So I don't think this push is going to amount to a whole lot. They're going to get close for sure, but I don't think they'll get close enough, especially with more Optims appearing all the time. And that push to the east has occurred. They've taken out the chicken, so got revenge for the Colossus big brother. Clinch is sitting under shield coverage trying to build another chicken. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold. There is a lot of Uthashalers spammed up, so maybe. But the reinforcements here from Joker need to assist, though. Air fight going here to the east. I think Strife has it. Oh, with these reinforcing units, Strife definitely has it. We'll do a decent advantage to both air forces, though. I feel like Combat Striker, yep, has to cut his losses at some point. And there's just a little, one shot going in once in a while. Not a huge issue there. Would like to see some more AA being spammed up around this lake, though. But It's not really looking good. A huge line of units here from Joker, just a convoy just moving forward, securing this center line. Again, no forces on the west. The east is taken over by Team 2. So Team 1, this is their battle of the, not Battle of the Bulge, but I guess Battle of the Bulge would be in, probably a opportune name, I think, at least for now. No, I'm trying to think of a better name. But again, 34 minutes. I don't see a nuke launcher. There is a Tsar going to start to be built here pretty soon. We'll see how long it takes to build that. There's another Colossus here for Hannibal. The nuke does get launched. It's actually from Team 1. All the back surrounded by a bunch of engineers underneath a stealth coverage. Does Team 2 know about it? Nope, they know about it now, though. Striker has built that, and where is it going? Well, it is going for somebody's main base. Is there teammate? Is S? There's nope. Okay, 35 minutes. I know you didn't maybe see the nuke being built, but you got to have one of your players, at least somebody, build an SMD. And will it go all the way back or just go for Hannibal's main base? And no, it's going to go all the way to the air grid, denying Team 2 of air superiority, at least for now. And that is going to land. That is going to hurt a lot. Kaboom. Takes out a huge section of the air grid. Not everything, but almost everything. Probably could have been a little bit further over, but does take a couple core mass out. And then the engineers did retreat to survive the blast. But that is going to hurt. Stripe going to fall a decent amount in his offensive ability. But he does have a bunch of gunships and ASF already built up, so that will allow Striker to build his own ASF. Another chicken, that chicken we saw earlier, has been completed. Another one being built here for clinch on the front doors of Team 1. There's really nothing here now for Team 1 to really use to defend against this, and Babel's base is severely under threat. All the units for Team 1 are over here, and they're pushing the center line against Hannibal here. So we have, 2 engagements here. We'll focus on this one just for now. You can see that, again, a large amount of engineers are trying to spam up defenses, but unfortunately it's going to be not enough, and this whole base will go up in smoke. We'll go back here to the west. Gunships being called in to do what they do best and just do lots of damage to the ground. AA trying to do their best to take them out. A lot of them have been taken out, though. There's not a whole lot remaining, but we are having artillery, I think, rain in, sniper bots as well. Hannibal has retreated. He probably could have survived on that front line, but decided to retreat nonetheless. Still no one died at 36 minutes. Hopefully I don't jinx myself and miss a kill. That'd be pretty funny, but Interceptor is being used to assist with the chicken, but I guess the chicken has other priorities. It's going for that main air grid for Comrade Striker, but there was a Tsar built here for Comrade Striker, and that chicken will go down. Should have probably just stayed and took out Babel's base. There's like no defenses, but now there's going to be defenses, making it harder for Team 2 to push that eastern side now. But these forces from Joker need to push forward. There are some, Percy's and missile launchers. Well, the missile launchers are in, but Titans, they have a lot of offensive capabilities, and they could go after that SMD that was spammed up here in the middle and take it out. I don't know what Joker's doing. He's just having them sit here. It's not really the best idea. They could easily be pushed. It's only giving more time for that Colossus to finish. Okay, Joker, you got to move him. Like, don't wait. That's a decent amount of units. You got to push. But, of course, we know more than they do, and it just hurts to watch sometimes. Another nuke gets launched, going for the main base of Clinch, denying his capabilities of producing chickens on that front line, taking out core mass and other important structures like T3 land headquarters. That's important. At least take out the SMD to ensure that Team 2 doesn't build up a mass quantity of those to prevent the nukage. Of course, this one will land. It was in the range of that SMD to protect, and this one will do lots of massive damage. Kaboom! Takes out a lot of core mass, takes out pigeons, takes out factories. But I think it pretty much wipes out Clinch's, knocks out his energy producing capabilities. And now those units push forward. They're going to deal with the SMD. That's probably target priority number 1. I think Comrade Striker made a comment about the Colossus. The Colossus is now finishing. This push will peter out shortly, but the main objective of the SMD was taken out. If you could go for that land factory, that'd be a great target, or even go for the comms straight up. But I think they won't. They're focusing on other things. We are having more reinforcements from Babel on approach, and I do know that we have that Tsar over there. So we'll check up on that once these Perseus die. Hannibal are going to push forward, get some veterancy on that comp. Nope, never mind. Doesn't need it. Is already at 5 stars. That SMD facility was taken out, and now Mass is the target. Babel moving around to ensure he gets a wide berth on that Colossus. Did fall, a decent amount of hit points. About half his hit points are gone, so not going to be as effective. But the Tsar takes out the Calm of Clinch at 39 minutes, 30 seconds, defeated by Comrade Striker. ASFs engage the other ASFs. I mean, yeah, that's probably the best target here. They even actually kill the Tsar as well. So Team 2 will still retain air control, Strife being the one in particular. And yeah, it's not really looking good for Team 1 on this eastern side. That chicken falls. But Team 1 did score a kill. I figured at least at some point a player would die. Like I mentioned, I pretty much missed it, but we caught what killed it. And it was pretty much that Tsar. And that push here from Joker has fallen back, but another separate push against the Colossus for Babel has actually made its way not super deep, but pretty far forward in Team 2's front line and main infrastructure. We have the small group of units here as well. I would like to see these take out the engineers, or T3 Mechs, or these engineers, or something worthwhile. But them just sitting here is just painful. Don't have anything going on for Team 1. We have another Tsar being built here for Striker. The nuke is being built here as we speak. It's almost built another one. It'll be the third nuke this game, and Team 2 has no SMD. I feel like the target now is Hannibal building those Colossus. That's going to hurt. We have Strife fighting in the water. And again, it is a 3v2. So if Team 1 really wanted to play an assassination game, take out the 2 comms, that's it. They won. Game over. You got to be thinking that. You're at 41 minutes. Okay, if you were Team 2, what would you be doing? Well, not really in the best sort of situations here in terms of mass. You're below 1,000, so not really a whole lot in reserve, but you have a decent amount. You have a huge land army engaging you. You have a small one here to the east, but not really doing a whole lot. There are reclaim efforts on both teams to scoop up mass. I think they're trying to actually... No, they're not going for it. But the nuke will launch. What is it going for? Well, it's going to go for that air grid once more. I don't know if that's worth it, though. Will the Tsar make it out of there? The Tsar finishes and goes, yep, I am out of here. Probably could have gone for this. But I think Comrade Striker has a bone to pick with Strife's air, and is going like, nope, no air for you, no soup for you, no. Those remaining ASFs will move. Of course, don't want to get caught in the blast radius once more. But there was an SMD. I didn't see it because of all the engineers. But it does deflect the nuke. It does shoot it down. So that's probably why Striker was going for it. Yeah, Striker was going for it. So he's going to prioritize the nuke again. Doesn't look like he is. That will give Team 2 a little bit of a reprieve, though, but they got to be always wary of that, as that Tsar is taking out the rest of those forces from Joker. Counter pushing going here in the middle. There's a Colossus and a chicken versus no experimentals, but a bunch of Perseus and missile launchers and a couple. I think there's a couple Titans. No, it's just all Perseus. Well, there's a Titan there and then died. But yeah, this push here in the middle is not going to really go well for Team 1. They're pushing back on this eastern side, though. Trying to get that reclaim, most likely. And T3 air defenses are trying to do their best. The shield might fall. No, it won't fall. And they're trying to rebuild that. Not rebuild, but finish the chicken. The chicken will not finish. A lot of that mass will go to waste. Missiles being thrown at one another. The Tsar is now the primary target. It will fall. The ASF will take it out fairly quickly. And now the ASF will engage once more. And it looks like maybe Comrade Striker has to... See, I say that. And then there's more ASF that appear for Strife. So It's going to be close, but maybe not enough to take out the Tsar. That push here in the middle. There is a Fat Boy that will do some damage, but it doesn't do enough damage quick enough, and it needs to book it as fast as possible. More of the Percival's going to come out of hiding underneath shield coverage and just annihilate it. Does look like Combat Extractor has won the air for now, is targeting the Tsar. The Tsar is falling fairly quickly. Sub, 50% hit points. It will survive, but a lot of its hit points have been taken out, unfortunately for it. The Colossus does fall before it does a decent amount of damage, but the shields are down around those Percys. The Percys probably need to push forward, take out the chicken before it gets close. The chicken will try to turn around, but it might be too late. Strife builds another experimental. What is it? It's probably another Tsar. Nope. I don't know what it is. I don't see it. Oh, no, it's a Colossus. Another nuke is launched. Can they take out the air grid? Oh, it's going to be close again, but I don't know if he's going for it. Nope, he's dropping short, going for Hannibal's main base, and if he doesn't move, that is going to be a confirmed kill once again. The Tsar does get taken out from nearby AA support. Push here in the east, trying to do a whole lot. They're trying to finish that chicken, but I don't think it's going to finish. It might be close, but I don't think it's going to finish. That chicken here to the west was taken out. And again, no one is using this western side. Like, no one cares to use it for some reason. And that's a lot of missed opportunity. And again, that nuke launches and lands successfully. Doesn't take out the SMD, but takes out everything for Hannibal. Drops his mass per second to 22. That's not really looking good. Strife is holding Team 2's eco just by himself. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go for maybe, an artillery installation or something. But I don't see that right now. Spy planes overhead for Team 1 getting a good readout. But yeah, pretty much Team 2 is confined to the southern edge of the map. Team 1 starting to reclaim a lot of that lost territory from early on in the game. The Colossus trying to push forward, but decides, nope, probably not a good idea. And this eastern side is finally being reclaimed here for Team 1, and they're going to get a lot of reclaim out of these Tsars. Probably pump it into either Tsar production. But Striker not going for a lot of ASFs like his opponent is. He's going for, he's starting to build a little more, but just focusing the nuke launcher. Killed 166,000 mass. It's already 5 stars. That's, was it 5 nukes? 4 of them landed? 1, 2, 3... 3 of them landed out of the 4. That's 75%. That's actually pretty good for a FAF. Usually they don't land that much. But this might be the target of opportunity. Once again, take out the SMD. Of course, this one in the back does finish loading, so this air grid will be protected for a little bit. Team 1's options in terms of game enders are, of course, the Maver and the Paragon. And Team 2's options are the Paragon and the Yolana Os. So we'll see. There's a secondary SMD built here. That hasn't... that's mass. It's not really a big issue. Colossus standing strong here. His Harbinger buddies are being shot at by a Fat Boy. I don't know if this is a hot take, but besides the Fat Boy in Supreme Commander 2, like not having a shield, I think the design of the Fat Boy in Supreme Commander 2 was definitely... I don't know if it was better, but I did like it. Let me know how you feel about that down in the comments. It was more of like a... It had like 4 legs almost. It's kind of what it looked like, with like a square body with 4 little legs jutting out. But ASF are... no, they're not gonna go for it. A lot of AA coverage here for Joker. I'd love to see it, as it is mainly anti-gunship. Well, there's a couple of Cougars in there as well, but mainly not Cougars, but it's mainly like flak rather than direct fire. That intel installation does get taken out. It was fairly early, but it has fallen. And remember, it is a 3v2, so only 2 commanders remain for Team 2. Team 3, sorry, for Team 2. Team 2 has kind of a hill to get up if they want to take this game back. They have a Tsar. They have, Colossus facility, being built as we speak. But there is a huge push here to take out Team 2's center line, pretty much to go straight down the middle and cut off the west from the east, kind of like Germany after World War II. Just cut it down the middle. There are 3 Colossus, though, that might pose a huge threat for this incoming army, but we have, Harbingers. Actually, we don't have, we have Harbingers and Serenities and a bunch of Absolvers. We saw Babel be like, oh, I could use those, and then decides to use them. The Tsar will push up on the east after this Colossus, most likely. Unfortunately, the suction arms from the Colossi will do a huge amount to these Perseus. Perseus do a lot of damage, and then just the Tsar comes over top and starts taking everything out. The nuke gets launched. Where is it going? I didn't see where it launched. I don't see the icon. Oh, it's going for this eastern side, taking out some more mass facilities. ASF targeting the Tsar. The ASF don't take it out. First Colossus falls. The second Colossus will fall here. All that incoming fire from everyone. Even the Absolvers, they do a little bit of damage, even if they, they're mainly designed to take out shields. They do a little bit of damage. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Every little bit of damage helps. The Percival survives the fall. His other buddy will not, and his, partner over here, but this one will survive. The nuke does land, of course. Kaboom! Takes out 4 T3 mass extractors, fully ringed. Going to drop Team 2's eco by a little bit. We have Hannibal has got back up from 22 to 150. Excuse me. And the Tsar will lead the charge on this eastern side. Lots of engineers for that Tsar to just straight up kill. But I don't know. Having that Tsar up front fairly weak. Not really the best idea here. Does take out the Colossus, so that's something. Combat Striker has built an experimental. Is it a Novax by chance? Oh, no, it is 3 of them, excuse me. And those are on their way to Team 2's main bases, and it's not looking good. The Colossus, of course, it's like the Colossus. The Tsars, I think, can actually be targeted by the Novaxes, I think. They do fly above them. I feel like maybe, but a bunch of artillery just being lodged everywhere. Look at that. Actually, those are missiles, not artillery. Colossus to the west, Colossus to the east. Reinforcements for Team 1 are starting to fall back. A lot of them is it's kind of hard to see, but it's just all engineers. So, like, you see this giant red blob, and those are all T1 engineers, so it looks like they have a lot of units, but they don't. Where are the Novax focused? Well, they're focused on the air grid. Man, Striker has a bone to pick with Stripe's air facilities. Man, that's been his primary target. Trying to spam up some T1 turrets, or try to spam up to actually try to reclaim them, but not really going to go very well. All of them will be taken out. A couple of restorers do appear. Kind of interesting to see why Stripe waited to deploy those until now. But the Colossus is starting to do work on this eastern side, though. Colossus on the west side is pushing forward, but there's a lot of units here, and I don't think they're going to get very far. Oh, it's going to hurt all those incoming missiles from these T3 mobile missile platforms, the spearheads. They can fire while moving. Lots of damage on those missile launchers. Colossus is coming in to intercept the rogue Colossus. And how many more Novaxes has Striker completed? Well, he is on his 4th one as we speak. The space lasers are in, the meal of the day here. You can look them all. Look at all those things. Just so many. You can even see the nuke. You can kind of see the nuke launcher behind him over there. But I don't think Team 1 has really. Sorry, Team 2 has an answer for this yet. Restorers trying to take out all of these, outlying mexes and engineers, and we even have, that Stars wrapping up his hit points decently well. But it almost looks like Team 1 is just biding their time. It doesn't really look like they're pushing forward. And Team 2 has built a nuke. It just finished building, and they're starting to, load its missile. I just don't see any effort to end the game here for Team 2. You have a nuke launcher, cool, but I feel like Team 1 should have a nuke launcher. Anti-nuke. They don't? Wait, are you telling me that for this entire game no one has an anti-nuke on Team 1? Really? Not even just like built and just loading by itself? Ooh. That might be a huge oversight. Maybe this nuke will be the way back into the game for Team 2. We'll have to see. Colossus is still being shot at long range from these absolvers. Not a lot of damage, of course, but you know, a little bit helps. Some hit points, you know, just starting to fall not fairly shortly, but just a little bit over time. Push to the west here from Joker. Not really amounting to a whole lot. There are Colossus en route, though. 3 in the middle, 2 on the west. A bunch of restorers, too, so not really looking good. Again, the mass assassination is the game here for Striker. He has 4 built now. You don't have an SMD. You have, you know, tele-defense that you don't really need. You could do the teleportation trick where you are Aeon and you can sacrifice Rascoms to build a Colossus kind of thing. Haven't seen that play in a while, but 3 Colossus alone pushing this middle section and going to be assisted with a bunch of restorers. This might be the break that Team 2 needs to get back in this game. Comrade Striker building another Novax. There's not a lot of defenses here for Team 1. They were whittled down slowly but surely. 1 Colossus will fall. There it goes, but the restorers just hammering Team 1's Perseus. 2 more Colossus come online for the front line. 1 versus 4 is not going to look good. It's not looking good here for Team 1 in the middle. The Tsar dealing with these forces to the west. Team 1 doesn't have anything in reserve, realistically. Some ASF, but that's really about it. You know, don't cross the beams here for the Colossus, but it is working, and it's going to kill that one for Team 1. Oh no, Team 1, what are you doing? You got to have a plan. I guess you just were betting on Striker finishing it off, but they do notice the nuke, though, I think. Does Comrade Striker notice the nuke? He sees the nuke now, so that should be the target. It's loading kind of slowly, but this is the main issue here, is 4 Colossus supported by restorers. They're going to take out ASF fairly quickly, though. Colossus in the main base for Babel. We do have artillery here for Joker, so that might... I don't know. There is an SMD here, so it's not all is lost in terms of no anti-nuke coverage. But again, 4 Colossi, a 5th one en route. Transfer of control was given to Hannibal to help micro those a lot better, while Strive focuses on ASF. I like the division of duties here. But they're just going to bulldoze this front line. Maybe they'll go after the artillery itself, and I think that is the target. ASFs are going to give the order to assist while the restorers go after that Duke. ASFs from Joker come in. This is the target. You got to target this. This is the main issue. Yep, that's going to hurt. That Duke falls. Now they're going to target the engineers to ensure that they don't build anymore. AoE explosions go on everywhere. The the air grid is going to go down. And Team 1 didn't have a lot of anti-air coverage here, and they're going to suffer for it. These are going to come overhead and deal with the rest of this air grid. And it's going to hurt fairly quickly. ASF being spammed, SAM's being spammed up as we speak. Well, with Ravagers as well. Rascom's dying. Of course, Colossus dying here for Team 1. And it looks like this was the single solitary push. Strange game, says Hannibal. Yeah, I mean, it was a kind of a strange game. Team 1 was winning for a while. The Novaxes are the target priority of the Tsar. The SAMs are trying to do their best. The hit points are falling fairly quickly. Now the SAMs get targeted and the engineers building them. But I think the Tsar will fall here, but all of the Novaxes will go down. And I think even the SMD as well. No, it survives with 20 hit points, but those restorers are inbound for that nuke launcher. And it's not looking good for Striker here in the north. Still has 5 Colossi to deal with. They might get the nuke launcher. Oh, no, they'll get it. They'll get it. There's enough. Maybe. It might be enough. Again, 2 of the comms here for Team 1 are here. Yep, they're going to get it. And they're going to target the SAMs now, but unfortunately the Colossi are nearby, and I don't think it will matter. I want to see what's going on down south, but there's nothing down south for Team 1. So it's just the restorers, and now the Colossus come in. We'll turn off all the little icons and just watch the slow march of the Giants laser everything to death. The comms for both Babel and Striker are retreating. Mass fabs going down, pigeons going down, air facilities going down. We have some T1 bombers trying to do their best, but again, even if they take one of them out, there's still 3 more of them, and there's even that one to the west. Huge hole in Team 1. The comm of, let's see, who was that? That was probably Striker, I would assume. I'm going to turn on the things again. That was Striker. He has fallen. It's now a 2v2. It's going to be 2v1 here pretty much shortly once we go after Babel. Babel is running to that corner of the map. It's him and Joker left. And it's not really looking good. The Colossus have a taste for blood. Joker Control K is saying, yep, I think this game is over. And Babel recalls from the match, leading this to a victory for the blue team, which again was surprising considering the fact that it looked like Team 1 was winning for most of the game. So again, a traditional comeback story. The nuke launcher in the back of the map was taken out though. And yeah, it just looked like Team 2 was mainly focused on getting, air control and then getting ground control after that. And just pumping out Colossus, and not a single game ender was made. Only 2 nuke launchers, a couple of SMD, of course. But just a bunch of Colossus. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment down below. And of course, if you haven't hit that red button below the video, I encourage everyone to do so who hasn't, because it helps me know that I am doing the right thing in terms of my videos. If everyone's enjoying the content, they want to see more of it, that kind of thing. So it just, shows that, it tells me that, oh, I'm doing the right thing. I should keep doing what I'm doing and keep getting better at doing what I'm doing. So again, if you have any comments for me, let me know down below. I am a little bit sick. I'm not a little sick, just a little stuffy, a little, runny nose and whatnot. So I should have said at the beginning of the video, but I do apologize for that. But again, please like the video if you did and comment what your favorite moment was. And I will see all of you wonderful people, you, and especially you right there. I'm staring at you through my screen in the next one.